This meeting to order. Today's date is March 7th. It's 2 p.m. This is the Kootenai County BOCC business meeting. In attendance today are Commissioners Brooks and Commissioner Matari. We're going to have a moment of silence. Okay. Next will be the Pledge of Allegiance. JP, would you like to start us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the next item are changes to the agenda. I believe we have items 20 and 21 that have been pulled for today.
We're doing what now?
Items 20 and 21, resolutions to classify and destroy records.
We're going to pull those.
Yeah, it's been pulled.
Good.
Okay. Next are approving the meeting minutes.
I thought we wanted to also switch the order of the ones having to do with the community guardian. First and then 18, is that true or not?
We can do that.
Okay.
Sure.
That's the way I understood it, but
Okay.
probably won't make any difference. Okay.
All right. So next are approval of the meeting minutes. I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the meeting minutes, items 1 through 7.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, next is approval of the consent calendar.
I move that we approve the consent calendars, items 8 through 12.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Next is approving the payables list.
I move that we approve the payables list February 27th through March 3rd, 2023, in the amount of $566,797.27 with jury panel payments of $502.34.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, the next item is a bid award, number 2023-03, for a wheel loader in the solid waste. John Phillips.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Commissioners. John Phillips for the record. The Solid Waste Department recently solicited bids for one waste handler wheel loader for our Ramsey transfer station. 2 bids were received. The lowest priced responsive bid was submitted by Western States Caterpillar. The Solid Waste Department recommends and requests that the BOCC award this waste handler wheel loader bid number 2023-03 to Western States Equipment in the amount of $278,383.95. This total price includes the trade-in of a 2017 Caterpillar 938M waste handler and the additional warranty option number 1 as written within the bid documents. The total price as requested is within the budgeted amount for this piece of equipment. Legal Services has reviewed the bid documents and is in agreement with this recommendation.
Okay. Anyone have any questions? No? Motion?
So does this now have to go to legal?
No, Legal's reviewed it.
Already done.
Yeah.
I move that we accept the bid award 2023-03 for a wheel loader for solid waste.
Okay, for Western States, from Western States Equipment for $278,383.95. I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, next item is County Department Annual Report from the Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. J.D. Storm, Department of Juvenile Corrections. And do you guys have the handout?
The annual, the
The annual
report itself?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. So if you just want to turn past the first page and we'll move to the second page, stated youth arrests. So this page reflects a breakdown of arrests and petitions for the past 3 years and the type of charge. So as you can see, in 2020, there were 839 total arrests. In 2021, there were 653, and in 2022, there was 400. So compared to last year, arrests were down 253 and down 439 from 2020. Moving on to detention admissions, there were 444 in 2020, 351 in 2021, and 300 in 2022. So down 51 compared to last year and down 144 from 2020. And then moving on to youth petitions, there's 415 in 2020, 285 in 2021, and 307 in 2022. Arrests were up 22 compared to last year, but down 108 compared to 2020. And if you guys have any questions about any of this as I'm going through it.
Is this all due to your good work in your department or COVID or?
I think this is all good work with Brian's department and his people. I think they do a really good job.
Yeah. Are the arrests by local law enforcement, though? So it's not juvenile detention?
No, local law enforcement.
Yeah. Because I just wonder if if the arrest being down is really a good thing in the sense that there's less crime or there's just less actual, ability to enforce it.
Sure. And I'm just speaking, this is Brian, this is kind of Brian's realm since it's his county, so maybe he can explain a little more.
Brian Alexander, juvenile probation for the record. Part of that is, I think COVID played a little part of that, but I think the other part is the movement with juvenile justice to do more preemptive intervention prior to them juveniles coming into the system. The other part is the change of a lot of the juvenile crimes, specifically with status offenses, runaway, curfew, MIP, tobacco, and alcohol are now infractions. So that is one big thing that's changed is the monetary infraction versus being able to arrest
Sure.
or petition. So.
Sure. Okay.
All right, then moving on to the charges filed at the bottom of the page. There's 83 felonies in 2022. That's down compared to 2021 and 2020. In 2022, as far as misdemeanors, there were 352. A little bit more than there was in 2021, but definitely down from 2020. And then status offenses.
Can you describe what a status offense is for folks?
So that would be your, any infraction committed by a juvenile that cannot be committed by adults. So say runaway, MIP, tobacco, alcohol,
Okay.
curfew violation are all status offenses.
Great. Thank you.
If there's no other questions on that page, we'll turn to the next one, probation and diversion. This page just kind of give you a rundown on, the top bars there are probation releases and intakes, and then diversion releases and intakes. Looks like probation intakes are down in 2022 compared to 2021 and 2020. And diversion looks like their intakes are up in 2022 compared to 2021 and 2020. I think the next part of this page, probation success rate. If you look at those 3 years, it's a pretty astounding number as far as kids being successful on probation. You got 99%, 96, and 97. And that's I looked at the state data for probation success rate as far as an average for the state of Idaho. And it was 85 for 2022, 81 for 2021, and 80 for 2020. So I think it just shows Brian and his crew's good work.
Sure.
Yeah. And then the next slide over is diversion success rate. So 75% in 2022, 70% in 2021, and then 76% in 2020.
And diversion is, can you just kind of explain that?
Yep, so diversion is actually attached to the prosecutor's office, but it's a pre-court program. So first-time offenders, with collaboration of the prosecutor's office, diversion in our office, any juveniles, first-time offense usually is going to go to diversion, which is pre-court.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Yep. And then the next page, that says intake. This is an overview of the area's average youth offender. So the average age of the youth offender is between 14 and 16. And a majority of those are white. And then it, it kind of just shows kind of as far as age goes, there was 1% that were 10 or under, 11 to 13, there was 18%, 14 to 16, 54%, 17, 19%, and then 18 years and younger, 8%. And the gender at the point of intake, 64% male and 36% female. That number is kind of across the state, kind of all are pretty similar.
Sure.
Gender. And so the next page, it says September 30th snapshot. So this information is just, the state takes a one page, or not a one page, but a September 30th snapshot. It's just a snapshot of that day. So it just talks about the youth on probation. There was 237 in 2020, 195 in 2021, 198 in 2022. Youth on diversion, 105 in 2020, 111 in 2021, 2021, and 128 in 2022. The youth in IDJC custody, so those are the youth that get committed to the state. There were 17 in 2020, 18 in 2021, and 18 in 2022. And I looked at how many were committed from Kootenai County currently, and that's 17 right now. So there were 5,686 hours of community service completed, and $47,014 were paid directly to the victims as far as for restitution. And then the next little piece over there that you can see the blue graph there talks about recidivism. And so at the 6-month mark, 6% of juveniles recidivated. At the 12-month mark, 9% of juveniles recidivated, and then at the 24-month mark, 13% recidivated. So that's just after they get done with probation, they commit a new crime.
Sure.
Right. That means, but these numbers are, as far as 6, 9, and 13%. I believe the national average is somewhere in the low 20s. So again, Brian and his crew, I think, are doing a good job, good work.
Yeah.
And then the last page that says state funds. So that first kind of burgundy graph just shows the legislative pass-through funds. So this is what the state gives Kootenai County. So with the Juvenile Corrections Act, $240,000 and $240,000. Oh my goodness. $240,676 were given through the Juvenile Corrections Act. Tobacco and cigarettes, $389,813 were given, and with lottery there was $58,140. And then the next blue graph there, state behavioral health funds spent on juvenile treatment in the community. So $216,000 and $314 were spent using the SUDS money that is passed down through the state. And then $24,605 were spent for serving youth with behavioral health issues. And then the last slide, juvenile justice budget percent of state funding. So 30% of Kootenai County's budget 29% was provided by the state through those funds.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, thank you. I've been through juvenile detention, and I tell you, it's very troubling to see these young kids have to be in that situation. But I was also very impressed with how well that facility is being run. So, thank you. I think you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, any questions?
Yeah, is there anything that that you would point out that's not in these? Anything else going on, or?
Like as far as from the state or at the county level, or?
Well, what's happening in the county level?
I'm hearing, I'm a district liaison for the state, so I'm responsible for the 10 northern counties, basically from Riggins up to the Canadian border. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about fentanyl use being a problem. That's probably been the thing that stuck out to me the most.
Not surprising, but good to know.
What's that?
Not surprising, but good to know.
Yeah, yes, for sure. But I think all the counties statewide are doing a good job of, just because I work for the state and kids that don't do well at the county level, they get committed to the state for long-term treatment. But our census is at an all-time low we're in the low 140s for committed kids. So I think the county is doing a good job of keeping the kids and serving them in their communities, and making commitment as kind of a last ditch effort to help the kid. So I think overall it's good for the juveniles when they can stay in their communities and receive that help rather than being committed to
Sure.
the state for long term.
Sure. Any other questions? No. I guess I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the county department annual report, Idaho Department of Juvenile Corrections, KC Juvenile Probations and Juvenile Probation.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, next is board approval request for agreement to remove timber at the Veterans Centennial Park Resource Management Office. I believe that would be Jody Beasy. Are you on the phone?
Yes, thank you. The agreement before you is between Kootenai County and the City of Coeur d'Alene, which will allow the removal of dead or declining standing trees prior to conducting hazard fuel reduction at Veterans Centennial Park. And as you mentioned, we are seeking board approval.
Okay. Any questions? No? Okay. I don't have any questions. I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the request for the agreement to remove timber at Veterans Centennial Park.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, next is a contract for services with Hazard Fuels Treatment Gifted View Davidson with Next Generation Logging LLC. This is with Resource Management. Jody?
Yes, thank you. The contract between Kootenai County and Next Generation Logging, LLC, is for the treatment of hazard fuel reduction within the Davidson property located at East Gifted View. 19 acres will be treated at a cost of $37,810.
Okay, and I take it was this budgeted before, or?
Yes, this is all part of the Fernan agreement and the MOU, and the funds are available.
Okay, great, thank you. Questions? No? Motion?
I move that we approve the contract for services related to hazardous fuels treatment with Gifted View Davidson and Next Generation Logging LLC.
For $37,810. I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, the next will be item 19. We'll do that before 18. County Department Annual Report from the Board of Community Guardians. Dave Levine.
Yes, Commissioners, my name is David Levine, Chair of the Kootenai County Board of Community Guardians. I'd like to just basically give you some highlights of the report that you should have. Number one is we've included again the $20,000 budget request for you to consider when you do the budget later. We only draw down the money when it's necessary, and the previous years, we have used less than the 20,000. The second thing I want to highlight in the report is that 3 years ago, the county signed a case management, a contract with Kootenai Health to provide services that are critical to the Board of Community Guardians. That 3-year agreement is up in August of this year, and we will be coming back to you after our discussions with Kootenai Health for a request to renew the contract. We suspect that there'll be changes to the rate. The rate has been consistent for 3 years, and with the costs going up, Kootenai Health has been a great partner with us, and the way the contract is structured does not really capture all the costs that Kootenai Health provides for this service. So we don't pay 100% of that person's salary. But again, without that support, we could not provide the services to the wards.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Any other questions on the report?
No. I'm just curious, is investigating any other options for that care a possibility?
We have not in the past. It's kind of a unique situation. It's not just the knowledge. If you look at what the case manager does, Emily, who's with me, if you have any questions for her, she's pretty much an expert on the bureaucracy of Social Security and Medicaid. Mm-hmm. She has a knowledge of all the state laws and all the court requirements. And in addition to that, has great relationships with the facilities within Kootenai County, as well as around the region, to take care of our wards. So it would be a very unique situation for this, and with the fact that in the past, the rates have been very competitive. Mm-hmm. We're paying $44 an hour right now for a contract services, which is pretty low considering a lot of other contract services. So the answer is no, Bruce.
No. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'll take a motion.
I move that we accept the County Department Annual Board of Community Guardians report per Idaho Code 15-5-603A, review of annual report.
I second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. Okay, the next item is a board approval request for the annual determination whether to dissolve or continue the Board of Community Guardians in Kootenai County.
And obviously here, I'm here today to request that you continue this critical services that we provide to people who have no one to take care of them and make decisions for them.
Mm-hmm. And
What's
go ahead.
that, 20,000?
$20,000 is the budget, and right now we have 10 wards. We have turnover. We added 4 last year, new ones, and we lost, unfortunately, 3 to different medical reasons.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. This is an annual renewal, correct?
Right, it is. And I
Yeah.
come here every year and ask
Sure.
for your continued support.
Sure. I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the, excuse me, I'm sorry, board approval request per Idaho Code 15-5-603B annual determination whether to dissolve or continue the board of, am I out of line? Am I doing the wrong one? This is the one,
18.
Well, we're moving to approve it for another year.
yeah, for another year.
Yeah. I'll second the motion.
Bill Brooks.
Aye.
Chair Pro Tem Matari.
Aye. The last item on the meeting is the status update. Commissioner Duncan's not here. Unless you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I have been working with Ann Westcott, and she advised me to back off because she's working with Pat Braden on a little different way to do this. So that's all I want to say in public.
Okay. Okay. Next up is public comment. Would anyone like to say anything? No? Okay. Right now it's 2:24 p.m. and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good meeting.